Hi everyone, this is the Turtles and Alligators lesson for North Carolina Wildlife, Unit 6, Amphibians and Reptiles. We'll discuss a little bit about the terrestrial turtles, the sea turtles found in North Carolina and off the coast, as well as the single alligator species that you can find here. So we have quite a few species of turtles, most of which are going to be aquatic freshwater turtles found throughout North Carolina and its various wetlands. And of course our state reptile is the eastern box turtle. Turtles are one of the oldest groups of reptiles still around. They don't even have teeth. They're part of the order Testadunes, all of which are turtles, but sometimes you may hear about a tortoise or a terrapin. Tortoises are going to be more land-focused turtles, and terrapins are going to be more referring to mostly aquatic turtles. And of course, sea turtles are going to be aquatic turtles with fins and mostly out in the ocean. Like other reptiles, they are ectothermic, but unlike a lot of other reptiles, they're very omnivorous. They eat all kinds of different animals and vegetable matter, so it mostly varies based on the species that you're referring to. The shell is called a carapace, at least the back part is, and it's the back part with its designs that really is the best indicator for what kind of turtle you're looking at. And they also have a cloaca, which we've mentioned before in this class, is that kind of all-in-one hole. They excrete waste out of it, they reproduce with it, and turtles who are not really hibernating but spending time in the ponds overwintering can even breathe through their cloaca, through a kind of almost like a modified gill. So they can breathe with their butts. Terrestrial turtles in North Carolina, quite a few. Some to focus on would be the eastern box turtle, named the box turtle because it's very high domed shaped shell. It is one of the few turtles that can actually completely pull itself into its shell. And that's some pretty significant protection afforded to it. They have beautiful oranges and yellows on their carapace. The bog turtle is going to be more noticeable with that ring band around its neck, although they are very uncommon and unlikely to see. It is the smallest turtle in North America. You can often find them in wetlands like bogs, especially up in the mountains. Snapping turtles are another one that you've probably seen. Very large, prehistoric looking guys. Once they're at their adult stage, they're pretty much top predators and don't have anything else trying to eat it. They have all kinds of really cool adaptations and can do a lot of damage with that bite. Diamondback Terrapins also have a very noticeable bite. You can find these guys pretty much only in those coastal wetlands, in those estuaries, the salt marshes, mud marshes, those kinds of places where they like to eat oysters. And you might not see them, but you can definitely hear them cracking those shells open with that very strong beak that they have. They're also called the wind turtle because of some myth and legends associated with them and sailors. But speaking of the ocean, we also have a few sea turtles that you'd find here. The most common one that you'd probably find nesting here, laying its eggs on the coasts of the Outer Banks or Topsail or a few other places, are going to be the loggerheads. And occasionally you might find some leatherback sea turtle eggs, which is definitely one of the largest sea turtles. The loggerhead, of course, is very recognizable with that spiky kind of carapace. But they have fins very much like whales do, and like whales, it's a very different kind of fin than a fish would have. Essentially, when you open up that fin and see the bones inside, it's going to be very similar to an arm, a hand, any other sort of land vertebrate's limbs, with the humerus, radius and ulna, and the wrist and finger bones inside of it. Even though it's a fin, it's still so unlike what a fish would have. Alligators have an interesting evolutionary history as well. They are very similar to what they were like millions of years ago. The biggest difference is that they are much smaller now. You can tell an alligator and a crocodile apart mostly by the snout, crocodile snouts being a lot more narrow and alligator snouts being a lot more broad. American alligators in North Carolina are mostly just going to be found along the coast and those wetlands along the coast. They don't get much further north than North Carolina, and they are not deadbeat parents. Those moms will defend those nests with vigor. So that's turtles and alligators for you today. I hope that was helpful.